Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. After a bit of a break from the editing desk, we are finally back, refreshed, recharged and ready to get properly caught up on all the action from the remainder of the 2025 season. In today's video we're heading back to Cowdenbeath for the Pro Stock Basics meeting on the 23rd of August, bringing you all the on-track battles, close racing and moments that make this formula so good to watch. It's great to be back putting these videos together again, and there's plenty coming up as we work through the rest of the season, so make sure you're strapped in and ready. If you enjoy the racing, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below. And now, let's get into the action from Cowdenbeath Racewall.
Now it's time to have heat number 1. Let's go racing.
I get a great start and immediately pull alongside 348 Liam Boyle on the outside line. Heading into the pit bend we're 3 wide with 680 Jamie Reid on the inside of 348. As we come onto the home straight there's a bit of contact between 348 and myself, which knocks my car out of gear and slows me up. At the same time 348 also makes contact with the 641 car of Shaz Law, sending her out of control and into the wall. I narrowly avoid her, manage to get the car back into gear and we get going again, but the yellow flags are out. The restart we aren't quite as quick away and have to settle in behind the 348 car. Into the pit bend and the 30 car of Paul Levesque goes to the outside of 17 Martin Duncan, while 680, 348 and myself dive up the inside. As we come onto the home straight, the 700 car of Jan Hilditch rattles me, jumping the car out of gear again, and I lose a lot of time getting it back going. On the back straight, I thread the needle between the 17 car and the 331 car of Ellie Ferguson. Now the top drivers are battling it out up ahead, but we're still getting to grips with the new car and searching for a setup that works for both car and driver. It's head down and push hard as we try to chase down the pack in front. Coming onto the back straight, we get up the inside of the 91 car of Ryan Geddes and it's through for position. As we pass the 640 car of John Harris along the home straight, we seem to have the pace to keep with the red tops, but just not enough to close that gap. Up ahead, 700 looks for a gap on the inside of the 30 car. As these two battle it out, this could be my opportunity to close the gap. But the pair of them make contact, sending the 700 car momentarily out of control. I back off to avoid the potentially spinning car, however 700 keeps control and we only lose a little bit of time. The turnstile bend, the 30 car gets up the inside the 348 with 700 right on his bumper. I need to get onto the back of 700 if I want to follow them through. Coming into the pit bend, 348 cuts the nose off 700 and defends the position. With only a few laps to go, 700 gets back up the inside of the 348 car. I really need to close this gap if I want to follow her through. Later, 700 completes the move. I take a look at the inside of 348, but I'm not close enough to make the move stick. Coming around to take the last lap board, we take a look at the outside of 348, however 700 runs into the back of the slow moving 411 car and we're forced to tuck back in behind the 348 car. As the checkered and red flags fall, I cross the line to take 6th place. I also managed to set the fastest lap of the race, showing that things are slowly starting to come together with our setup. It's time for heat 2 and off the line I match the start of the red roofs ahead. I try to look round the outside of 348 but don't quite have the pace and have to settle in behind him along the home straight. Charging into the turnstile bend, I get a great run and stick my nose up the inside of 348. He slams the door shut and we make contact, sending him sideways. I have no choice but to back out and give him room to gather it up, avoiding any further trouble or the risk of being docked. Around the pit bend I take another look up the inside, but as we fire onto the home straight we're caught out by the slower 331 car. The hesitation costs us dearly and £700 sees slipping through to steal the place. Into the pit bend, 91 hangs out wide, opening the door and allowing the faster cars to stream through. Muscles their way up the inside of 348 and they bounce off each other down the back straight. A lock up from 348 opens the door and I seize the moment, pulling alongside him. Now we're door handle to door handle, flat out along the home straight. Down the back straight I inch ahead, just enough to claim the racing line, and by the pit bend he has no option but to tuck in behind. Around the outside of the 331 car then dive to the inside of 312, all on a bid to close the gap and reel on the pack ahead. I'm now closing in on the 680 car as 730 begin to pull a gap ahead of him. Coming around the pit bend there's a stranded car sitting on the inside line. 680 checks up slightly and I have to lift as well to avoid contact, just as the yellow flags come out for the stranded car. I don't get the best starts on the restart, but we're fortunate that the 348 car behind also runs into trouble, leaving me with a big gap in my mirrors. Another yellow flag comes out almost immediately and that brings an end to Heat 2. It's another 6th place finish and another strong lap time, setting the second fastest lap of the race just 0.113 seconds off the outright quickest. The pace is clearly there now, let's see what we can do in the final. I get a lot of wheel spin off the line. It's a poor start and I already know I'll be getting it tight for that back in the pits. Even so, I just about managed to get alongside 348 as we head onto the home straight. Around the turnstile bend he gets a better drive and pulls ahead, but I'm not done. I quickly switch back to the inside, spotting a gap and committing to it. Coming onto the home straight, I haul myself right back alongside him and we charge into the next bend too wide. Door handle to door handle along the back straight, neither of us willing to lift. Around the pit bend I finally get the better run, edging ahead and pulling clear as we fire back onto the home straight. I've now got a big gap to the next car, so it's all about hitting my marks, keeping the car smooth and avoid scrubbing any speed as I try to close the gap. Charging into turn 1, I'm pulling back a lot of time on the cars ahead, but halfway through the bend 680 suddenly checks up and I've nowhere to go, tagging the back of him. I react quickly, swing the car out to the outside line and manage to get past without losing too much momentum. Up ahead I've got 741 and 30 in my sights. The car's feeling good, so it's head down, stay committed and keep chasing. Into the pit bend, I send it up the inside of 741 and make the move stick. Ahead of me now, 43, 30 and 25 are locked in their own scrap. The next targets in sight as the battle intensifies. Around the pit bend, 25 gets stranded on the outside line and loses 3 places in one hit. 30 takes full advantage and makes a break, but I'm now glued to the bumper of 43 lining up my next move. I show my nose up the inside, but he slams the door shut, shutting down the move and keeping me right on his bumper. The next lap I get my nose a lot further in and 43 is forced to hang it out on the outside. We're side by side around the pit bend, but I get the drive and brake clear as we power onto the home straight. A few laps later I've reeled in the 319 car of Lee Logan. Down the home straight I commit to a move around the outside, but as we turn into the bend he clips the back of my car. A split second flick of the opposite lock saves it, and somehow we keep the car pointing in the right direction and drive on. Checkered flag flies and we cross the line in 3rd place. Once again we set the second fastest lap of the race, this time just under 2/10 of 700's outright fastest. The car is clearly heading in the right direction, the pace is there, but there's still more to come. Plenty learned, plenty to build on. And that brings an end to the video. A massive thank you to all the sponsors and everyone in the pits for the hard work and support. It really doesn't go unnoticed. If you want to keep up to date with everything, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe, and make sure you check out our TikTok channel as well for extra clips and behind the scene content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.